I am K. Prakash, Associate Professor, working in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, SNS College of Technology, Coimbatore. Today we are going to discuss a topic in the subject solar energy utilization. In this unit, we are going for non-concentrating collectors. So, first of all, let us see a picture. We have a small glass and water is poured. So, in our day-to-day life, water plays a major role. It is very important to lead our life. Without water, no human beings can survive. So, here in the second condition, we see that water is heated due to the sun. In the second picture, we can infer that we can see the vapors coming out. So, from these two pictures, we come to conclusion that water is essential and the sun radiation can be used to heat the water. So, our topic is flat plate collectors. We are going to discuss about the flat plate collectors. The principles and what we have discussed behind the picture is the main working principle of the topic we are going to discuss today. So, before going to the topic, we will see what is meant by a solar collector. So, we can go for many places, and if in our day-to-day life, in our home, we use hot water for various purpose. For drinking purpose, we are using hot water, and to take a bath, we are using hot waters. So, how this available cold water is converted into hot water? What is the existing methods? So, in many houses, they are using electric water heaters to heat the waters. They are placing electric geysers in their bathrooms, and many peoples in villages, they use woods. By burning the woods, we are getting hot waters, and in some places we are using the coconut waste to heat the water. So in many places, some we are using directly, we are using our LPG gas for heating the waters. But what is the drawback in this? Sir, we are wasting lot amount of heat energy in the form of energy generated from various sources available. So to overcome these problems, we are going for solar energy. So solar energy is used to convert the thermal energy. So we are using a solar collector. We can see in this picture, see here, this is a solar collector which can be placed on the rooftops. So it acts as a heat exchanger and absorbs the heat energy from the sun and transmits to the water to heat the water. And here the transferring media heat can be to water or can be a fluid or an air. So solar heat can be used for heating waters, and the temperature is relatively from 90 to 150 degrees Celsius. We can use this solar collectors. So from this we come to know that solar collector is a device which is used to heat the water with the help of some heat exchangers from the source available from the sun. Now coming to the non-concentrating collectors. We have already discussed in the previous sessions about the non-concentrating collectors. So in the non-concentrating collector, the observing area cannot be changed. If for example, I have given a small example here, this is a small lens and this is a word opportunity. So when the lens is moved off, this letter will be varying, the size of the letter will be varying. So why this happens is the zooming area or the lens, the area is differing. When it comes closer or it moves upwards, there is a difference. The same way in the collector area, in the non-concentric collector is same as the observer area. And they are mainly used for, non-concentrating collectors are used for designing the solar hot water and industrial process purposes. And the delivery temperature is around from the range of 60 degrees Celsius to 130 degrees Celsius. And these collectors use both the diffuse and the beam radiations. So we are using diffuse and beam radiations, and there is no tracking system available. So now we are going to discuss about the working of an flat plate collectors. So these flat plate collectors are installed even for our domestic purpose. Let us discuss what are all the main parts and how this flat plate collector works. Here initially there are fluid tubes available which is made of copper, which is placed randomly. On top of the tube there is an black surface available. So this is the black surface which is available here. And here there is a transparent cover which is made of glass. So there is a transparent cover available. A double layer transparent glass is available. There is a top layer and the bottom layer. So this is fluid tubes. So here this is thermal insulation. So the heat no way losses outside these boxes. Now here what happens is, when the solar radiation falls on these transparent screens, it allows the solar radiation to get inside. This black surfaces absorbs the solar radiations. So as observe the solar radiations, this fluid tubes here is made of copper. It has a good conductivity. So by observing the heat, it transfers the heat by the conduction process, and the fluid inside the tubes are heated. So the fluid inside, this blue color is the fluid, inside the tubes are getting heated. So now this is a simple process by which the water is heated from 30 degrees Celsius to 130 degrees Celsius. So here we can ask, sir, what is the use of these transparent covers? So these transparent covers allows the solar radiation to getting inside and does not allows back the solar radiation to come outside. It makes use of all the heat energy inside to transfer into the fluid. So this is the flat plate collector. This is how the flat plate collector is working. This is fixed in a particular position. It cannot be moved. So when the sun is here, we can get the solar radiation directly. So when the path is differing, so we can't get the solar radiation all the day, throughout the day. So this is the major drawback. And let us see the main parts here. This is a 3D view where, see here, there are many copper tubes available in which the water is passing. The cold water gets inside and passes here. So what happens is, when the solar radiation is falling through this glassing shield, this cold water is getting heated. So due to this density difference, what happens is, this cold water becomes hot water and moves upwards. So it moves upwards and comes outside as an hot water. So here at the bottom part, insulation on the side of the boxes are insulated so that no heat energy is wasted. Here beneath the tubes, a black surface is used to observe the maximum heat, and a glazing cover to protect from the dust materials. Tubes made of coppers, and the lower manifold, this is the lower manifold, and the supporting structures, and insulation is made So these are the main parts of the flat plate collectors. So coming to the discussing about the black surface. So this black surface is used to absorb or trap most amount of solar radiation. So the flat plate collectors, without the black surface it can function, but the efficiency becomes lesser. So to increase the efficiency, to get more amount of heat energy to tap, we are using black surface. And glazing cover. So what are the purpose of using the glazing covers? One is to observe the radiation, and when with the radiation is observed, again it tends to radiative back outside to the atmosphere. So this has to be stopped. And the convective heat losses. So the air is available as in that vacuum space. So between the top layer glazing cover and the bottom layer glazing cover, a convective surface of vacuum surface is available. So this makes to prevent the heat loss from the surface. So here the tubes are the main concept to transfer the fluid. So these tubes are made of copper. So copper has a highest thermal conductivity. So these mainly copper tubes are selected. Cost wise the copper tube is higher, but in the thermal conductivity it is a good. And some supporting structures. So when you go for a flat plate collectors, we can see in the terrace all the flat plate collectors are made with an inclination of 45 degrees to focus on the sun. Why it is not kept flat? Why this inclination is made? So this you can ask a question by yourself, or you can think why this is possible, why this has been done. So this is because there are two types of radiation. One is beam radiation, another one is diffuse radiation. So when we focus the beam radiation, the radiation which is directly falling on the flat plate collectors is beam radiation. So due to this tilt of this 45 degree, what happens is we are getting most amount of the direct radiation to be focused. So when most amount of this solar radiation, beam radiation is falling, then the efficiency of the flat plate collectors is increased. And insulation, as the solar energy is getting inside, so the amount of heat energy is to be safeguarded inside the setup itself. So to reduce the surface heat losses, we are using insulation. Now let us discuss a thermosiphon system which we are using. What is the other name of thermosiphon system is? The natural circulation system is called as thermosiphon system. See here, so this is the sun available here. From this solar radiation comes and falls on the flat surfaces, where already I was told you that it is kept in an inclined position. So this is a flat plate collector, and here this is a storage tank, and here there is a cold water coming inside at the bottom surfaces. So when the solar radiation is falling on this solar radiation falls on these black surfaces and is transferred to the water or the fluid. So it gets heated. So and then what happens is this hot water rises upwards and comes to the storage tank. So this is how the solar thermosiphon system is used to heat the cold water. So why we are calling this as natural system? As the cold water coming at the beneath, at the bottom, because of its density, what happens is when the water is heated, its density becomes lesser. What is density? Is mass per volume. So this density becomes lesser, so that as the density becomes lesser, the hot water tends to move upwards without any pump or any device. So this natural circulation is called as thermosiphon system. So that is why we have made here hot water rises up because the density and water is stored in this tank. So here the main thing we have to take in account is that the area is the main concept. The time which is made to have the contact of the water to the sun's radiation is main important thing. So that the tubes, the water tubes are made here, they are made to have more contact area with the solar radiation. So this is thermosiphon method, and we will go for indirect heating methods or indirect hot water system. So this indirect hot water system, we are using this solar radiation and a flat plate collector, and this here we are using a circulating pump here. This circulating pump pumps the cold water here and makes to passes through this system. So as the circulating pump passes the cold water here, the water gets heated and the water is hot water coming back, and it is stored here and it is used for some domestic purpose. So why we are going for this indirect hot water system? So in summer days, this solar radiation available is abundant, so that this possibility of this water system is possible. But during the rainy seasons, if there is no solar radiation, so this setup can be used. Here there is an heat exchanger available here. So this heat exchanger, what happens is makes the water to make contact here, and then water can be heated. Instead of this heat exchanger, we can use an solar or an without a solar heater, we can use an electrical heater, so that the water can be heated in this insulated storage tank. So here there is two cycles. One is the circulating fluid which comes and goes through a single cycle, and there is another domestic water which comes inside and goes outside. So there are two different loops available. So this loop starting from here, it here comes upwards with the hot water comes here. So here in this a fluid is heated, and there is a heat exchanger where the heat is transformed from the hot water to this domestic water which is used for our purpose. So here we are using an antifreeze solution in the closed loop. So this is a closed loop. So this cold water that comes here, what happens is heated and comes as an hot water, and in this heat exchanger it loses all its heat, and again it is converted into cold water. So this cold water is an antifreeze solution. So when the temperature is lesser also, this does not freezes. At low temperatures also it gets heated, and the possible amount of heat is transferred. So this is the closed loop system, and we are using circulate pumps, antifreeze solutions, and we are using insulated storage systems. Now let us discuss the indirect water heat system, how it is works. So as we discussed earlier, here we are using an heat exchanger coil. Here same we already discussed. Here we are using the antifreeze solution to heat in the collectors. What is the use of this antifreeze solution is, if you take a climatic conditions like Jammu and Kashmir, here there is always cold. The condition is cold. So Here the fluid, when we use the water as an fluid inside these tubes, what happens is there is a chance of the fluid to freeze. To avoid this, we are using an antifreeze solution to give the year around operation. So whether it is summer or winter, no issues, we can operate the system throughout the year. So this is the main advantage of the indirect hot water systems. So even the systems works at the freezing points, and this prevents from the corrosion also. So this is the main advantage and working of the indirect water heating systems. And coming to the working fluids, so the working fluids may be a liquid fluid, and it should have some properties. It should have good thermal properties. It has to transfer high amount of heat energy and relatively high volumetric heat capacity, and it is an incompressible and high mass density, and allows using small pipes and for transports. So these are all the main properties of the working fluids. And coming to the scope, so what is the major things which is to be focused in these flat plate collectors? So the design of the structure of the tubes can be varied. So here there is a lot of scope for the research. The students who are willing to do some research works can concentrate in this particular area. See here there is 4 different pictures. So what is the difference in these 4 pictures? Can we infer? So this is a type of flat plate collector where the fluid tubes are placed below the black surface. Here it is kept intermediate. This is also kept intermediate, but this is placed above. So why these type of setups are made? Why the construction is varying? So these constructions are varying because of the flat plate collectors to achieve more efficiency. See here, compared to the figure A and figure C. See, the structure is round and here the structure is different. So what is the difference between these two? So always this heat transfer Q is directly proportional to K into AC. So it is directly proportional to the area. So whenever the area is increased, the heat transfer Q is also increasing. So if to increase this contact area, here they have made the contact area to increase more. Here the contact area is increased more, whereas here the contact area is lesser compared to A and C. So we generally know that when the area is increased, the heat transfer also increases. But is this possible? Whether A will give the good efficiency or C will get the good efficiency. So what we have to go here? So the students can have a small project on this. They can get some pipes made of copper tubes which is available in the market of standard diameters, and they can have some pipes which of these designs, and they can keep in an open surface. They can allow the cold water by measuring the temperature, and then they can keep in a sunny day, and they can get the hot water at the outlet. They can measure the temperatures, and by using the LNTD method we can calculate the by the temperature difference we can calculate the heat transfer, how much amount of heat is transferred. So here the major drawback is when the surface area is circular, the flow will be smooth, but whereas when the area is curved or it is the edges, the flow is affected. So this is the major thing we have to consider in this collector constructions. So effective heat transfer is made from this collector plate by the temperature difference at the junctions. So that is why this setup can be made and can be tested to get the higher efficiency. And coming to the advantages of the flat plate collectors, it is easy to manufacture, low cost, it collects both the beam and the diffuse radiations, and permanently fixed, and the maintenance is lesser. So these are the advantages of the flat plate collectors. And coming to the position, always the flat plate collectors are to be installed to facing the equator. So it should be south oriented in the northern hemisphere. When we are placing the solar collectors in the northern hemisphere, so it should be faced during the southward direction, whereas when it is in the southern hemisphere, it should be faced towards the north direction. This is to be taken into account to get the maximum efficiency of the solar collectors. And the optimal tilt can be closely to plus or minus 15 degree, closely to the latitude of the location, plus or minus 15 degrees. So here we can see this is the equinix, and this is the where the solidix is falling. So this may cause the major difference in the efficiency. So this is about the solar collector positions. So we will have some assessments also. So this we can discuss in the later part. So why the glazing material is used. So what are provided to minimize the heat loss. So these assessment questions we will have later. And in the solar collectors, white transparent covers are produced. And this is my references. I have made my reference from the educationpsu.edu and from the alternative energy tutorials. And you can also visit these sites to have more knowledge. And coming to the end of the session, before we are concluding, we will have a small wrap up of the sessions. So today we are discussed about the flat plate collectors. So mainly solar collectors are two types. One is concentrating collector, another one is non-concentrating collector. In the non-concentrating collector, we are just keeping the collectors in an open area and we allow the solar radiation to fall on it. Whatever the solar radiation falling on it, we are just collecting. So in this, there are two types. One is flat plate collectors, another one is the evacuated tube collectors. So we have discussed about the flat plate collectors. So these flat plate collectors are used to heat the water for our domestic purpose. So the temperature range is around some 30 degrees Celsius to 130 degrees Celsius. And we have seen the different types of solar collectors, the indirect hot water collectors and the thermosiphon methods, where these flat plate collectors which are useful in the year-round operation, whether it is summer or winter, whether the seasonal changes occurs. We have discussed the working of the flat plate collectors and we have discussed the advantages. So all the advantages of the flat plate collectors, and then we have discussed the scope of the research in these flat plate collectors. and I hope you have understood the concept. If any doubts, you can clarify by mail. Thank you.